Hey, Aries, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot and Astro Insights, and we're going to talk about a timeless message for all of my Aries collective out there. So keep in mind, Aries, this is going to be for any major placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, even North Node. So if the message doesn't resonate, just check your other signs and placements. I always like to talk about what comes through in my meditation, and then I like to jump in with the cards. There are some cards already laid out on the table as part of a pre-shuffle. I normally don't do that, but I was guided to do that this time. So let's get into it, Aries. Subscribe, like the video, comment on the video, especially if the message is resonating. So I kept being shown the Justice card and the number sync 1111. So I don't know if you've been seeing the number sync 1111 on the clock a lot lately, but I feel there's like a blending of energies connected to a higher soul awakening. And so this blending of energies was almost like the conscious mind and the subconscious mind kind of blending together. And so pay attention to your dreams and your visions, because I do feel maybe you're coming into some newfound goals, some newfound desires. And the energy is saying you have to take action to create your reality, Aries. And so do not allow any discord to disrupt any harmony in your home or within the foundation of self. So I was also shown the Temperance card with the Page of Cups. And so what I really felt with that combination in meditation was healing self-worth. That was huge. That was loud, healing self-worth. And so your skills, your talents, these are sacred. So get clear, Aries, about building your resources. Stand behind your personal integrity was a big message, because you are being called to invest your energy towards what it is that you truly value. So you may be struggling maybe to apply your gifts. That was a feeling that I got. So don't slip into the energy of self-pity or self-doubt. That's not going to serve you. I don't know why self is so loud in the channeling, but you are the first sign. It is the sign of self, Aries. And so you're being called to love yourself, to appreciate what it is that you bring to the table, even if nobody notices at all, because it doesn't matter if people validate you. That's not dependent on your self-worth. Something about the second house. You think about the second house. The second house is the house of material resources. It's also the house of self-worth and self-value. So what I heard was you are invaluable, Aries. And so I think maybe you're tapping into some type of shaman energy or healing energy. I kept also being shown the Hanged Man. So Pisces energy was prominent. So very interesting. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and Pisces is the last. And so pay attention to those placements in your birth chart. I think there's going to be something significant connected to the houses of Pisces and Aries. Now keep in mind, Aries, we do have the North Node still transiting through your sign. It's in the earlier degree stages. And so we also got some planets in Pisces still in retrograde. Saturn is about to go direct. And so that's all about karma. And so it's kind of this awakening to this inner healer is what it felt like for you, Aries. And so maybe you're becoming a shaman. Maybe you're getting a new outlook when it comes to your gifts and applying your gifts. So first, focus on healing yourself first. Focus on healing yourself first, Aries, to become more conscious of any imbalances when it comes to your thoughts, maybe your behaviors, and you're kind of being asked to weave the energy of self-loving actions into your life, into the choices that you're making, and into your thoughts. And so maybe there's going to be an Akashic shift that's going to activate this great inner teacher from within, this great inner shaman. So it's basically a time, I feel, of personal healing and cleansing for you, because I think you're activating your inner healer is what it felt like. So let's jump a little bit further in with the tarot cards. I'm going to talk about the cards laid out on the table, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper. So I laid out some cards. It's the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck. The central energy that came through is spiritual places. We're going to go through this. The bottom of the deck, the void. Okay, interesting. Below the void, we get your authentic voice. There you are, a gifted healer, a gifted healer. And so in order to become a gifted healer, Aries, you have to go deep into the familial patterns, the familial wounding. And this is what truly activates your psychic abilities. Wow, I just got to take them all. I got to take them all. You are on your way towards a brand new life. And so you are in the midst of shedding layers. You're in the midst of some type of transformation. So be mindful of mental clutter, because I feel there's relationships that are shifting, relationships leaving your life. There's going to be some external factors here that are going to need to leave your life that really are going to be no longer serving this higher purpose, this higher healing calling. And so the void is when we take the leap of faith, right? We take the leap of faith. So interesting. That was an energy that came through in my Oracle unboxing message when I unboxed some new decks. So go check it out if you didn't see that. But the void is basically the gap, right? We have to take that leap first from the old life before we fully know what that new life is. And so there's kind of a gap. There's a void when we take a leap of faith. The fool takes a leap of faith, doesn't really know where they're going, but it takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of strength, right? And overcoming fears. We got to push those fears aside because there's something working below the surface here. And so this new life is going to ask you to leave everything behind that is no longer serving your higher self and this higher soul awakening and your soul purpose and mission. And so your authentic voice is needed. You need to remove any blocks within the throat chakra. Maybe you are a Mercury in Aries, perhaps. I don't know. Check out your Mercury placement, what house that sits in, because that's going to indicate maybe where you have blockages when it comes to speaking your truth. But ultimately, to express yourself honestly and openly really is to embrace authenticity. And so that is the first step to healing, right? So maybe you are a gifted healer when it comes to written work or spoken word. And so you might want to explore maybe sharing your journey, sharing what you've learned through your trauma and your wounds. And so there's some deep family patterns here. There's also some deep past life wounds and patterns here that have really, I feel, caused a negative impact in your life. And so until we identify the patterns that keep repeating, then we can't become consciously aware of them. And when we're consciously aware of them, we do have to consciously choose to heal them and release them so we no longer keep repeating the same negative patterns. And so I think you're tapping into your psychic and intuitive gifts. And so whether it's clairaudiency or clairvoyancy or clairsentience, it's really time for you to develop your psychic ability. So let's talk about what's on the table. That's just the bottom of the deck, okay? Because we do got that transformation card. So the higher self was the first card out. We got the soul awakening card and we got the nourishment card. And so I feel Empress energy. I always feel the Empress card with the nourishment. And so you think of the Empress, she's the mother. She's the embodiment of the divine feminine. She nurtures, she loves unconditionally. Every life she touches, it's sacred. And so the Empress energy, the nourishment card, is asking you to nourish your mind, your body, and your soul. You are on a sacred pilgrimage is what I want to say. You're on a sacred journey. And so when we awaken to this higher consciousness, we do have to kind of nourish ourselves in a healthier state, because the cleaner our energy field is, the cleaner and clearer the messages will come through. And so you are kind of learning to dismiss the ego. We can't fully kill the ego. We need the ego to get out of bed every day. The ego serves a purpose. It allows us to find the drive to do things, to get up. But we have to integrate the shadow self, the lower ego. And so how can you really start to embody that compassion for everything? Christ consciousness is the energy coming through. Below the higher self, we get meditation practice. Beside that, we get the central energy, spiritual places. And so I just feel like you're traversing higher dimensions, tapping into higher dimensional realities, higher dimensional experiences. And through meditation, you will be able to tap into 5D and above. And so this is all part of the rejuvenation process. And in order to really tap in to these higher states, it does require a lot of time alone. And so that's funny, because I was shown the Hanged Man. The opposite of the Hanged Man is the Hermit, the Virgo card. And so Virgo, the Hermit, does spend time alone. They go into quiet introspection. They do the inner work that is needed to shine a light on these negative vices. And then we get the Empowerment card, the Presence card, and the divine plan at work. And so you need to trust. You need to trust. So if you're trying to micromanage the universe, Aries, stop, because everything is unfolding according to divine timing and according to divine plan. And so this is all about empowerment. You are the sign of self. And so how can you take ownership? How can you step into empowerment when it comes to executing your highest potential at the soul level? And so any step forward is going to be a step in the right direction. And the presence card is asking you to be fully present in this transformational process, to be fully present in the now moment. When we are over analyzing the past, it will put us into a state almost of like compression, depression, and soul suppression. When we are overly worried about the future, because the future hasn't happened yet, the future is right now, then we create all kinds of undue and unwanted stress and anxiety and fear, because we're not in control of what's going to happen tomorrow. We're in control of our own personal energy. And so you might be in some type of relationship dynamic here that is playing a vital role for your purpose. And I just noticed 11:11 on the timer. But I feel there's going to be a realization connected to this person. So I'm not sure what that is, but let's go a little bit further with the senses of the soul oracle deck, and then we will jump in with some tarot. So we'll get a few of these messages. You are becoming aligned with universal energy, and so that is the King of Swords. And we get spotted coral root with orchid. Orchids are one of my favorite flowers. Purple orchids are my favorite flowers. I don't know. I can't keep them alive to save my life. So I don't know why I'm mentioning that. Spotted coral root is basically the energy of the Ace of Swords. And so you are supported as you undergo this spiritual transformation. So King of Swords, Ace of Swords, that's definitely indicating the authentic voice energy. So that's clarifying that. And so we can all embody that King of Swords. It's about taking a grounded masculine approach. The masculine has the drive to speak. And so maybe you're being called to clear some air here. Okay, wow. Look at that. Flew right out of the deck and landed on new life. So that's a pretty loud message. Let's cut the deck. You are either stepping into being a high priest or a high priestess. So no judgment here. Never ever gender specific. So just keep that in mind as I go through the reading. Although, you know, I talk masculine, feminine. Just keep that in mind. So we get a 17 card. We get the peppermint card. I'm going to put it up here. And this is speaking of digesting your emotions and acting on behalf of your needs. And so that's kind of like digesting the truth of these familial patterns. And so ripping off the Band-Aid is what I heard. No longer needing that Band-Aid. Ripping off the proverbial Band-Aid. And so feeling this like almost like viscerally in the emotional body. We get red clover. It's a 36 card. So I'm feeling like a 10 of wands. So there is a burden here that I feel does need to be released. And this is about you communicating clearly, communicating with your fullest potential. And then we get the alchemist. Holy moly, Aries. So the alchemist turns this pain into wisdom. And then on the bottom of the deck, we get I move forward with spiritual clarity, ginger. So there's an 8 of Swords here, I feel. And you need to get yourself unstuck, because we get the sage, we get the alchemist, we get the priest, we get the high priestess. And so there I feel is energy blocks between the crown and the heart. So maybe work on clearing those energy blocks between the crown and the heart, because I do feel there's like higher activation energies between those chakras. And in order for all of these messages to fully be received through the gateway receptor of the heart chakra, you're going to have to remove that throat chakra block on the throat, is what I'm feeling. And so you're kind of integrating this multi-dimensional experience, this multi-dimensional reality, and grounding it into your day-to-day life. You're becoming the high priestess, the high priest, and the alchemist. So let's get into it with the book. And let's see a little bit further, like the priest, the alchemist, and the sage. Those are very loud, prominent, spiritual energies, spiritual figures. And so you are very powerful healer, Aries. So maybe you're an Aries rising and that Pisces energy would be sitting in the 12th house if that's the case. It doesn't have to be, but they wanted me to mention that. So the Sage holds all of this emotional intelligence, emotional wisdom, intuition. And so there's new visionary consciousness being downloaded into your psychic perception is what I feel. So you think of the Sage, it symbolizes the balance of the head and the heart. And so I do feel the block is on the throat. The block is on the throat in order to harmonize the head and the heart. So what is it that you need to speak clearly about? You have to speak clearly and respectively about something here. And this is teaching you about your journey. This is also teaching you to rise above, because there's almost this underlying internal agony that's kind of like a block. You need to sing your unique soul song for everybody to hear in order to call in people that will be a frequency match for this new embodiment of wisdom that I feel the Sage is representing for you. So you're kind of being called to move through an experience with grace and to learn from any type of setbacks that you've recently been going through. So let's see if I can find the other cards in a timely fashion. The Alchemist, I believe, is before the Sage. The Muse. Perhaps I am incorrect. I never can find the People cards. The People cards. Perhaps it's a little bit further. Let me just see. Please be patient with me, guys. Oh, there it is. There you are, the Alchemist. And so personal transformation, alchemical transformation, transition, and psycho-spiritual transformation. Wowza. And so you're going through a major co-creative process of balancing the inner masculine and feminine. So that's why I felt the need to mention the masculine feminine polarity and rising above. You're being called to rise above fear and to transform this fear into wisdom, to turn this learning into liquid gold. That's what the Alchemist does. And so how can you take full responsibility for whatever circumstance you may be in that is not serving your healing journey? So you are being called to show up with humility, with willingness and acceptance. The Alchemist is saying, hey, you're here to live out your life purpose on earth, and this will benefit everybody. So let's go to the High Priest, High Priestess, because that card is indicative of the crown chakra. So this is like all about spiritual expansion, expansiveness. And so you are embracing spiritual altruism, a mystical expansion. And so maybe you're coming into newfound esoteric knowledge, inner truth, inner divinity. You're basically evolving. You're evolving. You're tapping into that last 7th chakra in the physical reality, and you are awakening to this newfound wisdom, this newfound desire to gain more knowledge and to step into the unknown. So that void energy, very loud. And so you are learning to temper the ego. The ego is always going to seek the need for control and for logic. And let me tell you, the spiritual journey is far from logical. And so how can you obliterate this fear of surrendering to these higher energies, Aries? I think you're comfortably uncomfortable, and you're in some type of impermanent situation here that's very inconsistent, and it's time for you to step onto the path of your life's journey wholeheartedly. So let's go in with some tarot. Holy moly, we are almost at 19 minutes. Let's do 9 cards, and let's see what else needs to come through the tarot. I'm using the Angel Wisdom Tarot deck today. Look at that. Beautiful energies, Aries. Closing out cycles of heartbreak, healing past misunderstandings. And so you're right in the thick of it with that 3 of Swords. And so the 3 of Swords hurts. It hurts. It's a stabbing pain. It's a very unforgiving energy of agony. And so there's great sadness here that does need to be processed, and you will heal. You're closing out a major cycle. So we get all of the fixed signs here: Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. And so this is a time of success. This is a time of great accomplishment and spiritual enlightenment, but it is through going through the fire, the rebirth through fire, through the broken heart. And so personal growth comes from facing all of these trauma and wounds. And I do feel you've got like a guardian angel protecting you as you do this deep healing work. And maybe it's just healing a misunderstanding of a pattern. Maybe there's a need to heal a misunderstanding with another person. Maybe you weren't there for them in their time of need, or vice versa. But I think your guides want you to be proud of yourself. So let's get 9 of these cards out and let's see what message needs to come through for you, Aries. Messages for Aries, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. First card out the gate, we get the Chariot reversed. And that's kind of sitting right on that higher self energy. We get the 5 of Cups in reversed. And then we get the 5 of Swords in reverse. So 5-5, expect some changes here. I like the 5s in reverse, though. The Chariot in reverse is saying something here is coming to a dead stop. This could be an emotional breakdown. This could be like losing your willpower and your determination to keep going, because there is almost like a focusing on the negative. There's almost a need to understand and release an unwise choice that you've made. I think you're recognizing that there's a better way. Maybe you're trying to find the hidden blessings and the lessons here. But it's kind of hard, I think, to understand why everything happens until we fully know why. We get the 2 of Cups. Right below that Chariot reversed, the central energy, the 3 of Coins, and then the 3 of Cups. And so it's like the party's over. This could mean a canceled engagement. This 3 of Coins, it's saying like, hey, somebody here is putting in all the work, all the effort by themselves. And I think you're kind of being called to go towards doing what it is that you love. Maybe you're not gaining recognition in a partnership. The 2 of Cups, I feel, below the Chariot reverse is saying you've tried to resurge this relationship. You've tried to rekindle this relationship, because I don't think you want to give up on somebody that you love. Never fun, never easy to walk away from a relationship or give up on somebody that you love. I know I've stayed long past a relationship's expiry date by staying somewhere I really wasn't meant to be. This 3 of Cups in reversed is really screaming to me a separation of some sort. There we go, the Queen of Swords, right on the empowerment card. And so how fitting, you are being called to speak your truth and remove a block on the throat. So maybe you need to go towards the King of Swords, or you are being called to embody this Queen of Swords energy, which is about releasing a situation or a person that is no longer serving you. And so this is about empowering yourself. Maybe it's time to say, hey, I want a divorce. Maybe it's time to say, hey, I don't want to be in this anymore for unmarried people and unmarried individuals. I think you're kind of career focused, you're career driven, and this is connected to your gifts. I think you are thinking about a new professional creative endeavor, and I think you're going to be paid well for your healing gifts, for your craft. So you will gain an excellent reputation. We get the 7 of Cups in reverse. So this is it. You're making a choice. No more confusion. No more illusion. I'm all done procrastinating. I'm all done overanalyzing. I'm pulling the plug here. I'm moving forward because you've been juggling in indecision for far too long. And I do feel there's some type of sacred rage here. Queen of Coins, or Queen of Wands, pardon me, on the bottom of the deck. I don't know why I said Queen of Coins, but I almost feel like that's where you're headed towards. We get the Ego card, or the Devil card, which is asking you to break free from some type of an illusion, and maybe you feel entrapped there. Maybe I said Queen of Coins because maybe you feel like financially you're not able to leave a situation. And so you are being called to make a choice. If where you're at is not supportive of your pathway to happiness and joy and the spiritual path, then maybe you're called to release something. And so I think you've kind of been stuck for a little while here. So the Awakening card, there's the Hanged Man card. It's in reverse. It's better in reverse. And so you've been pausing, you've been thinking, you've been pondering. You've likely missed out on some wonderful opportunities here. By not embracing your truth, speaking your truth, and embracing your uniqueness. And so you're being called to release a very stuck, compressed, suppressed situation, because it's almost like you're kind of bored where you're at. And so I think this is going to be like the final nail in the coffin coming up here. It's like once you speak this truth, you can't go back. It's like you've been cloaking the truth, and it's almost like it's time to just walk away. It's going to bring sadness. It's going to hurt. but at the same time, it's going to bring relief when you end the situation. So I think you already know, and the truth is going to come out whether you want it to or not. And so the High Priestess in reverse for me is also saying you're receiving wisdom. There's anger here. Maybe you're not seeing how brilliantly talented you can be. There's almost a fear of becoming independent. And that Queen of Wands reverse for me is saying control issues, power and control issues. And so take that with a grain of salt, because we can all achieve all of our goals. And so don't deceive yourself with your worth and your value. Don't use your emotions either to manipulate a situation. But this is about developing and trusting in your own gifts and your intuition. The High Priestess reverse too can oftentimes be overly reliant on other card readers. And so be careful who you are receiving advice from at this time. So I just want to clarify a couple of cards here. I want to clarify the Queen of Swords because she's got something to say, and this is part of your transformation. I kind of just feel you're kind of cutting the snakes out of the grass here. You see the blue butterfly, truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yeah, you're speaking that truth, and look at that. Right back to that cut. How beautifully magical is that? Right back to the card on the cut. The world. You're done. Be proud of yourself. You're going towards freedom. You're cutting ties with, I feel, maybe a husband or a long-standing partner. You're cutting ties with somebody here that can be a little bit narcissistic. The Emperor in reverse is narcissistic. They like to control things. They like to belittle people. And I think you're seeing somebody clearly. Now, keep in mind, this could be a feminine. It could be a woman embodying this energy. This is somebody that wants to have their way, and there's no way around it. Look at that. And then the Empress in reverse. And yeah, you're leaving a situation behind where you didn't see your worth and your value. And you were dealing with somebody that took advantage of you because you didn't see your worth and your value. And so a very mismatched pair, I feel, is parting ways, and because you're strong enough to speak that truth into existence. And so you know it's time to take action. I feel this Queen is like, it's time to take action. This is blocking my creativity. This is blocking my abundance, my prosperity. And so I think a recognition of a karmic cycle reaching completion. So where are you going? Oh, wrong way. Because you're going towards doing what it is that you love. So I think you're going towards doing something solo for a while. We get the Six of Wands in reversed, the Five of Wands in reversed, and the Seven of Swords. So you're leaving a lack mentality behind is what I feel is happening here. So where you're going is you're going your own way. I think truth is coming out. I do feel you're leaving a sense of lack behind. You're leaving a lose-lose situation behind is how I'm feeling. It's like there's a situation here where there's no victory. You either both want to win and nobody's winning here. And so somebody needs to make a different choice. And this might be a choice to leave behind a whole negative thought process too. But the Seven of Swords is saying you're going to lose your peace of mind if you don't choose to go on the other side of this stuckness. Because there is almost like a Two of Pentacles at play here, right? With the 5 and the 3. And so there's like a Two of Pentacles in reverse at play. And so something here is getting flipped upside down. And there even might be some type of material loss, but you will be able to recover. This is all about being honest with yourself. So get honest with yourself. There's a conflict here, I feel, with no resolution in sight. And it's the distorted ego that is keeping you in this challenging situation. And I think you're being called to just walk away from the drama. Walk away from the drama. Walk away from opposition. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself and recognize it's time to create that balance, and trust that the work that you put out there, the good that you put out there, will always come back to you tenfold. And so I think the karmic debt is paid. And there's no chance at reconciliation here, I feel. And that's kind of what's coming through here. So the renewal in reverse, this has to close out in order for the next part of your awakening, your awakening journey, and the process of soul retrieval is what it feels like. And so you know in your heart of hearts what you need to do. I do feel Pluto energy here. And so it's kind of time to stand up and do what you need to do. And so the clarity is coming. You do see that something here is not wish fulfillment, was not a wise choice. And I do feel there is some type of commitment here, or marriage or partnership coming to an end because it's kind of time to lay down that burden because it's heavy. And so there's the void, there's the fear of taking the leap of faith, and the void's coming, the leap is there. Whether you jump yourself or spirit pushes you over the ledge, you're going to have to be ready to start this new cycle. You got to trust yourself. You got to push those fears aside, and you got to release this indecision, because you see the problem clearly. And it's like you keep pretending there's no problem. You keep pretending there's no issue, and you can't keep living life with the rose-colored glasses on. It's time to release. It's time to release a false foundation. So I think this is kind of all happening in Scorpio season. Although this is a timeless reading, there is going to be an ending that is going to lead you to a new beginning here. So there's a need to release this person, this situation that's holding you back, because the transformation is here. So let's close this off with a crystal stone deck message. What is the closing message right there? Opal. Feel all of your feelings. There's no way around it than through it. And so there's that Three of Swords energy. Feel all of your feelings. And so it's like a grieving process. You're grieving the old self. Maybe you want to wear all black clothes for a little bit. But you are spiritually protected as you go through this ending. And so it's like you got to deliver some very harsh truth here. And it's not going to be easy to do. So this is all about opening the heart. You have a spiritual path here that needs to get moving. And so there's an energetic block connected to a relationship here that needs to leave your life. And this is part of protecting your light and protecting your soul with black tourmaline. And so I just feel there's a person here that is likely an emotional vampire. And it could be a family member. It could be a coworker. It could be a friend. It could be a lover. But you are giving more to this person than they are giving back to you. It's like they're a taker. They don't know how to give back. And so it's kind of time to see this for what it is and establish some very strong boundaries, especially between you and anybody that's siphoning your energy. And that's kind of what I got, Aries. So I really do hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to go further with me with a personal reading, feel free to check out the description box below. Also in the comment section, there will be links to my webpage if you'd like to book a reading. I also now offer one-on-one private mentorship to master your birth chart, to learn astrology. And there's also now an option to join the membership side of the channel. So if you'd like to become a channel member, go check it out. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can become a channel member. And I go live every Thursday at noon. It's interactive. I pull into all 12 zodiac signs. So if that interests you, check it out. I'd love to have you join me on the other side. Have a great day, Aries.